All right, welcome to We Talking About Sports podcast
What up? What up?
edition. We got a guest on the show to start you off.
Looks real official with the three-way.
Hey, pause.
Yeah, with this.
Anyway. What up, guys?
But Justin's got to be in the middle though, because he's the good-looking one, like Molly. And then
All right,
there you go. And then me and Ben,
Put your dukes up, Ron.
Me and Ben are the fails of Max Kellerman and Stephen A. on each side.
I got you.
For sure, you'd be.
Or Molly Q. Or Molly Rose now, I think, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. Famous people tend not to change their last names also, though.
Yeah, I think she's still Kiram or whatnot. But anyway, Super Bowl edition. We're going to talk about football. We do have a guest. Ron, what's up, man? What's been good since the last time you've been on the show, preseason, when you gave us your Cowboys prediction?
Oh, my God, dude.
I was with you on that, so I feel you.
A lot has changed. Obviously, I was way wrong on the Cowboys prediction. Anything past 4 or 5 wins looked terribly bad. But other than that, bro, just working. My birthday was last week. Went pretty hard all week long. Still enjoyed the football season, even though the Cowboys was kind of a we lose Dak. It's shit season, but obviously the Cowboys give you a little bit of hope at the end with we gotta beat the fucking Eagles or the Eagles got to lose with the Skins and then we beat the Giants, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, the NFL wasn't a total wash. Obviously, we're going to get into the Super Bowl stuff. It's an awesome storyline. So I'm excited to be on the show. Thank you for having me back, man. I'll keep it short because I know I can go on a little talking here. So.
Hey, Ron, who was more wrong about their prediction? You about the Cowboys, or you were shitting on Mondo pretty hard? Mondo about the Broncos.
I want to say it probably was a tie, dude, because did they
both had them winning double digits? You both had them winning double digits.
Yeah, but the Cowboys were handcuffed, bro. That Dak injury, he really stopped us. Come on now.
Well, Broncos fans are saying the same thing about Drew Lock, that they were handcuffed by him, bro. So I don't know.
Yeah, Dak's a little more important than Drew Lock is to that team, I think.
Damn,
what up, Roland?
What's up,
What's up,
Roland? What's going on, man?
Not much. Just had a long day at work. Just had to wrap some things up before I logged on. So, how's everybody doing?
Good. We just started, bro. We just started.
Yeah.
So, Ron, I got to go to my next question. We see the Cowboys. We saw the struggle with Dak and the injury. What does the Cowboys need to be a Super Bowl contender? What's the team's biggest need that you see currently?
Besides signing Dak, the defensive side of the ball, man. I think that's been our problem since the late 90s. We had, when you have Dion back there and you had, guys like, I don't know if Bill Bates played with him, but linebackers like him, you had shut down corners, you had badass safeties, everybody. You had, I think Charles Haley was even on the Super Bowl 30 team. I mean, when you have monsters like that in your defense, people are afraid to play you, and guys, other teams will scheme against that. So they might be a little bit more, passive. Teams weren't afraid of our defense. They were doing whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. We got rid of our standout safety, the guy from UConn. I forgot what his name was. He went to
Byron Jones.
But he ended up Byron Jones. Yeah, he ended up getting hurt anyway. He's probably as close as a shutdown corner as we've had in a while, and he's not like, this huge star like a Revis Island, or anybody like that. So I think defense is the main thing. We got the kid from Alabama in the draft. He was doing okay, but he kept getting burned a lot.
He had some injury problems
so
too.
I think defense, man. Yeah, you're right. Vanderhedge to me is that guy's a walking injury, just like Sean Lee was. It's just we just don't have that defense that teams are afraid of. So to answer your question, defense. Yeah. I don't know if maybe we can go into the draft and get somebody, or maybe a trade. But defense, man, defense I think is what we need, because we can put up points. Even when Romo was a quarterback, you know, we were putting up points, but we couldn't stop anybody. Same thing with Dak and Zeke, and our offensive line does need to get a little bit more healthy. But other than that, to answer your question, defense.
Roland, since you're also a Cowboy fan, do you have the same assessment of the team, or
Yeah.
what would you like to see for next year?
Yeah, for the most part, I think Ron, touched on it. We had a pretty high-powered offense while we had Dak in the game, and even then we were losing games with Dak. Our record wasn't that stellar with him in the beginning of the year, but we were putting up points at will. The one thing that always sticks out to me about the Cowboys on the defensive side of the ball is the secondary is usually been pretty trash in the past couple of years, other than, the bright spots that we've had with Byron Jones, as but Ron highlighted on. But I'd like to see us take another cornerback, pair him up with Trayvon Diggs. And, I think that's the cornerstone of a good defense. If you got two guys that can take away the number one option from the other team, I think that's a good start. So, and we got some good pass rush from some guys that we didn't think that we would be getting pass rush from. I know I clowned Aldon Smith, but he had a decent year. Randy Gregory looked pretty decent for all of the troubles that he's had. So I think we're on the right track. I would like to see us draft a cornerback, not too high on our linebackers, but I do want to see us start trying to beef up that offensive line again. Tyron Smith hasn't played a full season in a while. He's always out with a back injury. It seems to be lingering. So maybe we can draft a left tackle sometime in the draft. I'd like to see that. But best available in the first round, we have a semi-high pick. I'd like to see that be a corner. So we'll see what's up.
I think Trayvon Diggs did pretty good. The only thing is giving up the big play. I did find a stat that him and Byron Jones had almost identical as far as letting completions happen. It's just he was giving up the big play. So I like what we got as far as that goes with Trayvon. Ron, so moving on to the Super Bowl, I do got to ask you, as far as what is your Super Bowl prediction? Is it going to be Chiefs? Is it going to be the Bucks? What's it going to be?
Well, as a betting man, I think you have to go. Anytime you see KC 3 or below, you have to jump on it, even if it is the Super Bowl, even if it is Brady and, biggest, show, biggest game of the year. Anything Chiefs -3, man. I mean, how do you not take that? The way they played against the Bills, I think Mahomes came out and said, we didn't play very well against Cleveland. We wanted to show everybody that we still are the Chiefs and we still, can do what we do. They put up 21 points in the second quarter alone, and kind of just came back and hit the Bills with that, haymaker a little bit in the second quarter, and the Bills never came back after that. If the Bills don't fumble that punt, they don't even get to 9. They don't score that touchdown. So I think the game was it was dominated a lot more than what we thought, or than what the score.
What the scoreboard showed. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So anyway, betting wise, I got to take the Chiefs, man. Patrick Mahomes, to me, you can't bet against that kid, whether he's 100% or not. I call him this Super Bowl has the potential, though, to be the greatest show on earth. I know the Rams had the greatest show on turf, but both offenses, can be the greatest show on earth. In saying that, my heart, my pick,
I like that.
is I want to go with Brady. I want to see Brady win again. When he was winning, I hated the dude. I'm not gonna lie. I think everybody did. But shit, man. I mean, how cool would it be? This guy's like 45 years old, and he's gonna come, win a Super Bowl against a 25-year-old, a kid who could be his son. I think they're like 18 years and I don't know how many months apart.
Yeah, Tom Brady's 43. Patrick Mahomes' dad is 50. That's crazy.
Shit. Yeah, that is nuts. So my pick, betting wise, KC -3. My heart says Brady.
Ron, you can't lose.
Yeah, he's hedging his bet.
Doing that.
Well, he's going with the betting. So the betting is the Chiefs. He took the Chiefs.
Which ones? You're gonna take the Chiefs or the Bucks? I can't.
He took the Chiefs. It was clear. He just said he's not going to mind if Brady gets
the Chiefs -3. But hey, man, look, it's because you can't sleep on the Bucks. They haven't hit their stride. I mean, have we seen Mike Evans be Mike Evans this year? Have we seen
he's been a touchdown machine
of the past? I mean, shit, dude, this could go down. The play I do like, talking about plays, is the overs. The overs is at 56. I could see a 30-27 game, maybe 35-24. So I
Now,
think the overs.
I came across a stat that said that in all of Brady's Super Bowls, he's only mustered up 3 first quarter points.
He's a slow starter.
Yes. Yeah.
Slow start in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so, I mean 3 points, and he's been in what 6, 7 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I mean
9.
28-3. This last one,
9,
13-0.
and 3 first quarter
9.
points, bro. So
That's a good look.
So
First quarter
by
under.
those odds, I did see an odd that said Will Brady score a touchdown in the first quarter. I'm guessing you're going to go no.
Well,
That's a good look.
Oh, I like that one.
Based on Brady's start, I would just think in most Super Bowls you get a higher scoring second half usually. Especially I know Ron's prediction was the Chiefs. If the Chiefs are up, the Bucs are going to be chunking the ball. They're not going to be handing it off to Fournette. So I think that it could start slow just because it's the big game. You know, both teams had a week off. This is the second week. So it could start slow based off Brady's past, and then it could get going later in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Something else to consider is whenever it's the Super Bowl on those 4th and 1s or, those 4th and shorts, they always have those trick plays that usually work no matter what. So that's probably going to keep drives going. Both teams, I think, have head coaches that will go for it on 4th downs, especially the Chiefs. Yeah. If they need a 2-point conversion, they have plays that I'm sure they work on where it's probably 90% chance that they'll get the 2 points. So little things like that I think can help the overs. I don't think we'll see a lot of punts either. I think it's going to be offensive big time. Both I think. Let's see, the Chiefs. Both teams give up 30 points per game. So score 30 and give up 21. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I know you mentioned 2-point conversion. Yes, a successful 2-point conversion is at plus 325. So those are pretty good odds also for something that late in the 4th quarter or even late in the 3rd quarter, you're down a couple possessions, teams start going for 2 to just play that analytics possession game. So they'll chase it early at plus 325. That's pretty that's pretty good price, I would say.
Another thing too is with both teams being so offensive minded, you can see some turnovers, which will lead to field position. I think the Buccaneers had a game where they had a couple picks or a fumble. Not that the Chiefs turned the ball over a lot, but I think the Bucs had a game where they got the
3
ball
picks.
Some turnovers.
Brady threw 3 picks in the NFC title game. So
yeah, there you go. You see, picks, fumbles. If you give each team a short field, you're looking at points, which leads me to another prop. I don't know if we've gotten there yet, but before I forget, Butker over 1.5 field goals is at minus 155.
He's been pretty good. He's been pretty good throughout the season. So you're on the Chiefs minus 3 then, Ron. That's your Super Bowl prediction. But you wouldn't feel bad seeing Brady win. I would be down with Brady winning if I knew that he was going to walk away after. If I knew that he was going to walk away on top. But I think that if he stays with this Bucs team, the way that the NFC set up, they got a couple more times that they can get back into this. The way that he's looked and the way that their roster's set up. So I'm not pulling for him like, oh, man, I don't mind the guy. But if he was going to hang it up after this and he was going to ride off into the sunset like Peyton did, I would say, all right, I'm pulling for him. But I'm going with the Chiefs too.
Nice.
Right now, Ron, Ron, go ahead real quick.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Oh, are we giving our picks or what's happening?
You can go ahead and give your picks.
Yeah.
Everybody that gets out,
I'm gonna go with the Bucs. I know it was a blowout the last time that they played, but I think there's a lot of. But not actually. They got off to a fast start, and the Bucs had a little bit of a comeback at the end. I think Tyreek Hill went bonkers in that first half. I don't think you're going to see a lot of that. I think the Bucs are going to come out and play smart. And one thing to look out for: the Chiefs are dealing with some injuries on the offensive line and COVID-related issues. Their starting center was caught on the barber chair with a barber that got tested positive for COVID. So the starting center's out of the game, and Eric Fisher, their starting left tackle, is already out, so he's not going to be there. And the Bucs have a really, really good pass rush. You got Shaquille Barrett coming at you. You got Jason Pierre-Paul coming at you. And that Bucs defense is really coming together. So I like the Bucs to keep it close. We can get into some more props later because I do have a list that I like. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucks +3, and I am a little biased here too because I do have some Tom Brady trading cards that if he wins, the value of those cards are gonna go up a little bit. So yeah, I'm going with the Bucks here.
Roland, we'll get more in depth in the game and routes to victory and stuff. But since we have Ron on here, we're gonna get some questions from him.
Yeah.
See what his stuff is, but we'll be doing this throughout the episode.
Yeah, go Bucks.
Next question for Ron. Ron, I know you said earlier you could see a 30-27 victory for the Chiefs, but we got to put you on the spot. We definitely need a score prediction from you that's definitive.
Definitive. Give me. Do you know what? Just because I went with that score, let's do it. Let's do 30-27. The Chiefs. Because you can look at it this way, man. I think 30-27 either way. Because how many times have we seen Brady with the Pats, get the ball with a minute left, and then he does the game-winning, drive to get him into field goal range, and here comes Vinatieri to hit it, or here comes Gostkowski, to hit it. So that's and I think that's why the spread is what it is. I mean, how many times do we watch football and the game ends exactly with what the spread is? I mean, these guys in Vegas are geniuses. So because the spread is 3, why not 30-27? Why not just, put the correct score right on the spread?
And get your over, though, right? That's 57.
And get the over.
The over will come in.
2 for 1.
Yeah.
Ron, you have any fun props that you're looking into? Have you looked into any fun props?
Yeah, man, real quick, going over the props. I know I mentioned Butker over 1.5 field goals. Kelsey to score a TD. It's a little juiced. It's at -190, but I mean it's Kelsey.
6 straight games.
Patrick Mahomes.
Kelsey the god.
Patrick Mahomes looks for that guy. I think more than anybody else. Brady to win MVP is +140, and I think it's funny that the money line.
Stop.
No, wait, hold on. It's funny though. Hold on, what? Well, check it out. The money line on Tampa to win the game is +140. So basically, Vegas is saying if the Bucks win, Brady's getting the MVP. It's the same exact odds. And if the Bucks win, how do you not give Brady the damn MVP? I mean, Evans goes off.
There's been a couple of defensive MVPs in the last couple of Super Bowls also, though. So, I mean, I could see Devin White. If somebody gets a pick 6 that changes the game, that could get it also. But I see what you mean. If the Bucks win, it's like the Lakers win, LeBron's gonna win it.
Yeah,
same thing. Brady, Bucks win, Brady gets it.
Yeah, I mean, and then if Evans goes off, or if Gronk goes off, or any receivers go off, Brady's throwing them the ball, so he's gonna get credit for the touchdown passes. And I don't see Fournette or Jones winning MVP as another offensive player.
I think that you want better value than plus what you said. I think it was +160 on Brady. Like that's pretty low. +140. Oh, +140. I would at least think like +250. But I mean, then again, he's got to be second from Mahomes.
Okay, so we'll just I'll do my last prop. My long shot MVP prop guy is gonna be Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Okay, I like that.
That's the +3,000.
I like that.
That's +3,000. Reason being is, I mean, what has everybody been talking about? KC, Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Rush. I mean, pass. Now the Bucks only give up 85 yards rushing, but like somebody mentioned earlier, JPP, Shaq Barrett, what are they going to be hungry for, knowing that the Chiefs' offensive line is hurt? They're going to be rushing, trying to get to Mahomes, trying to get those sacks. So you run a couple draws, you get him sleeping a little bit, coming off the edge, and Edwards-Helaire could easily have, 90 yards, 100 yards. Say he gets a couple tutties, maybe one receiving. You never know. So he could end
same receiving,
2 touchdowns. Yeah. Something else that I had seen on him was a rushing prop. His rushing prop's only 28.5 yards at -120.
That's not bad.
I think
why is it that low? Why is it that low?
I think he's been in and out of injury.
Well, they use a stable of backs, so that's probably why it's there.
But I mean, Damian Williams went off in the Super Bowl last year, so maybe another running back goes off for him.
True. Look, watch. Allaire went 14 for 79 against New Orleans. He went 16 for 32 against Miami, and he went 11 for 37 against the Bucs when they played. The only game that he didn't hit was when he didn't play. I think against the Browns or something. Or he just didn't do well. I don't know, against the Browns. Whatever it was. But 28.5 yards is low. I mean, he could maybe get that in 2 to 3 carries. So I think that's a really good prop to look at, and that pretty much covers all my props, man. Kelsey and Hill are plus 900 to win MVP. I mean, maybe another long shot there, but definitely Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Fuck it, throw $5 on it, right?
Yeah. Mark Choppa says Patrick is playing with an ankle injury. I was not aware of that.
Yep.
I thought he was fully healthy, but this is news for me at least.
Yeah, the Chiefs are banged up. Chiefs are banged up.
Another good point for Roland's Bucks, man, winning the game.
So I gotta ask. So we did see in a playoff game Mahomes leave because of a concussion. Do we see both quarterbacks finishing the whole game, or could you see somebody having to sit some of the plays out?
You want us to predict an injury, Justin?
No, I'm just saying it's going to be a very physical game, as you can tell, especially with the offensive line being a makeshift offensive line. Roland pointing out the rushers that they have. Is Mahomes going to make it through this game? Mark brought up ankle injury. We know he's concussed.
I mean, you just got to go in thinking he is. You just got to go in thinking both QBs are going to make it through the game. But I mean, we've seen Mahomes get hurt last year in the middle of a game, and we saw the concussion also.
Never get touched anyway.
Oh, we lost Ron.
Whoa.
Well, Oscar says Brady's going to tie Rich Gannon's Super Bowl interception record of 5, calling it. Man,
that was against the Bucs.
Game, 5 could happen. Working on getting Ron back into the fold here. But, Ben, what props do you like as far as – we got Ron back. Ron, go ahead and finish off what you were saying.
Yeah, man. Let me just finish up. Technical difficulty Ron is what you guys should call me when you bring me on the show.
Hey, you said it, not us.
I can't catch a break. But, yeah, man, I look forward to the game. Thank you for having me on the show. Definitely, going to share this. And also, you guys have something on Facebook that everybody can go do for free. I think it's that pick sheet. And you guys are giving away a gift card. I think that's fucking awesome for, everybody who watches the podcast. So I'm definitely going to go do that right now. Everybody else can fill it out as well. So other than that, thank you. Thank you, Roland. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Ben. And may all our bets hit.
Ron, I got one last question for you before you go out. Go. What's on the menu Super Bowl Sunday in your house?
Ooh, we're going to have my deals are throwing down the brisket. Coach Nino, which some of you guys know, he'll be throwing down the brisket. My Tia Sandra will have that potato salad. My sister's doing the rice. My mom's doing the beans. And me and Alyssa are just taking
nice.
Yeah, me and Alyssa are just taking the onions and the pickles and all the plastic here, man. So
and the Miller Lite.
Miller.
Oh yeah.
No, man, I'll probably be hungover from Saturday. So usually football Sundays just munch.
Gotta take Monday off.
I wish, but may everybody's bets hit and may everybody's bought hit number. Everybody's numbers hit too.
Everybody's bought. Later on, enjoy dinner, bro.
Later, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
Later, man. Peace. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, always a pleasure to have Ron on. What a character, huh? All right, well, let's get into the pod a little more. After 256 regular season games and 12 playoff matchups, the stage is set for Super Bowl 55 in Tampa, Florida on February 7th. For the first time ever, the host city will have its team in the Super Bowl as the Buccaneers welcome Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to Raymond James Stadium with a right to be crowned champions on the line. 2 teams left standing. Right.
Justin, where'd you get that script from, cuz?
Hey, I worked on it all this morning.
He wrote that himself.
Motion works.
You worked on it this morning, me and you, remember?
I like it.
Olin, something me and you had going on a script preseason. Mahomes, Brady, Belichick. We kind of foresaw this a little bit. We're going to get into that. Well, first we'll talk Mahomes and Brady. One stat I want to bring up about Mahomes because it just blows my mind. It's not necessarily on the Mahomes and Brady line. I just think it's so crazy to talk about when it comes to what Mahomes' record is. It says this: Patrick Mahomes will play in 2 Super Bowls before ever losing a game by more than 1 possession. The last time Patrick Mahomes lost by more than a possession, November 19th, 2016, versus Iowa State. He's been winning for some time now.
You have Mahomes on your side, man. You have a good chance of winning that game. That's just the way it is. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys. But yeah, Brady versus Mahomes. I mean, that's the dream matchup, right? The old GOAT versus, the guy that everybody's saying is gonna, usurp him maybe one day, or is gonna be the next Brady. Yeah, passing the torch for sure. But yeah, it's an exciting matchup. Brady would be the first guy to have the Super Bowl at his home stadium. I mean, he's just another animal. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting stat that you brought up. The first team to ever have the Super Bowl at his home stadium would be quarterbacked by Tom Brady.
So I do have a clip for you guys that I want you to see, and I do want to garner some reaction to this clip. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the clip now, and we'll see what you think about it. Rolling in, Ben.
Biggest game Patrick Mahomes will ever play in for the rest of his career. It's the only way to catch Tom Brady. He has to win this game. If he loses this game, he cannot catch Tom Brady, in my opinion.
There it is. Tony Romo says Mahomes cannot catch Tom Brady as being the GOAT. He doesn't take this and win this Super Bowl.
I see his logic.
On point, or is he off?
I'm not going to completely agree with him, but I do see his logic there, because if you're comparing GOATs, you're going to have a head-to-head matchup that all the Brady guys are always going to be able to say, hey, Brady got him in a head-to-head when he was 43 and he was 25. So you can never pass him. But who's to say that Mahomes doesn't win fucking 8 Super Bowls? Are you still going to say and break all these records, which he's probably going to do, because he's going to be putting up stupid regular season numbers for the rest of his career. So who's to say he doesn't end his career as the most decorated quarterback of all time? We just saw Tom Brady get through his career. Mahomes is barely starting his. And if these past 2 seasons are any indication of what's to come, he's going to find himself in a lot of Super Bowls. But I kind of do like the way Tony Romo posed it, because this is Mahomes' only chance at Brady, probably. I'm beating him in a head-to-head Super Bowl matchup. So I see what he's saying.
He had him in the AFC title game, wasn't it, 2 years ago?
True, when they caught him offsides.
Yeah, and he has that one head-to-head win against him. Obviously, last year the Patriots didn't get that deep into the playoffs, losing in the first round of the Titans. So Mahomes, ended up beating the Titans to go to the Super Bowl. But Romo's got a point, I think, based on the age. But the reason why I can't agree fully is because, like we said, if Brady would win and ride off into the sunset, then Mahomes would never be able to get that get back at him.
True.
But Brady's over here talking about playing up until he's 45. So that's 2 or 3 more years. And we know that Mahomes is going to be there as far as on the AFC side. Now, will we ever get to see them match up in a Super Bowl again? That depends where you see the Bucs going forward, right? As long as Brady's there. But that would be why I don't agree with Romo, is because Brady's still going to keep playing. If this was, like we said, and this was going to be his last one, like, hey, Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to pass the torch off to you, but I'm going to pass it off in me beating you. I showed you a lesson. Here you go. You're next. Not Mahomes taking it from him. So that's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I agree with Romo on this one. And Mark did say earlier, there's a GOAT for every era, and I agree somewhat. But I kind of feel like this era is interlapping because of Brady's career longevity, though. And I don't see a way that I can crown someone if, let's say, one day Mahomes goes out, gets 10 Super Bowls or 8 Super Bowls, surpasses Brady, if he didn't win the head-to-head on him. I just don't see it.
The head-to-head matchup is a really compelling way of looking at it.
It's a team sport, but we all know.
No, but I get it, and I kind of agree with what he's saying, because, I mean, we're always going to look at that one matchup. But I heard somebody talking about it on the radio today, and not to say that I have him up there, but just don't forget about him. There's a guy named Joe Montana. He went undefeated in Super Bowls. He has 5. He beat Dan Marino in a Super Bowl. I'm forgetting he beat another quarterback twice. That was pretty good. I'm just blanking out on his name, but Joe Montana. I mean, he was Brady before Brady, and Brady kind of replaced him to, I think it was Mark's point, there's a GOAT for every era. So Montana was a GOAT. Brady's a GOAT. Now we have Mahomes. But
that was something I heard. They said there's no doubt Brady's the GOAT, but this is just Mahomes' era.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, time passes everybody by, and there was a lot of people counting Brady out as it was already, just based on his age.
For the season.
Going and picking up a whole new team and just kind of like, hey, guys, let's go along for the ride. I'm taking Bruce Arians to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Byron Leftwich is my OC. We're going to the Super Bowl, guys.
Mm-hmm. Our preseason quarterback list. We got killed for having Brady on our top 5, Justin, remember?
Oh, I remember we got a big
Here's in the Super Bowl, though.
As good as that was, it was pretty bad because Drew Brees was in that top 5 also.
He fell off, yeah. But, hey, I think everybody had some people on their list that didn't end up in that top 5. But, yeah, Drew Brees fell off
The Russell Wilson hate continues. Wow.
I was going to say Drew Brees fell off a cliff, but yeah, for sure.
He really did. I mean, they forced him into retirement, bro. He fell off a cliff.
And that's, to your point, though, Ben, about, Tom Brady not riding off into the sunset. You got to look at the NFC. The Saints, they're going to be looking for a quarterback. No more Drew Brees. You got to think the Bucks, they keep a handle on that division. It's going to be Brady against Rodgers again, maybe, unless, the Cowboys and Dak Prescott come firing next year. But
it's set up nice for sure. The landscape is good. He got out of Mahomes' division. He got out of Mahomes' conference. He said, I'm gonna come to this side. If we meet up, we'll meet up in the Super Bowl. But if I got to go through Rodgers, Brees, and some of these other guys, that's fine. I can do that. These guys are my age. But that's where obviously why some of us side with the Chiefs in this matchup is the whole age factor. And it's got to catch up at some time. Maybe against Mahomes will finally be it.
We'll see. The other parallel we drew, Roland, was Brady versus old coach. We're talking about that way preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Now that seems to be the narrative as of this week. I don't know if you saw, there was a video that came out with Danny Amendola. I'm going to play it for you here, and I want your response to that video.
Hot.
Here it is. Here's the Danny Amendola take.
Well, first things first, and when you see Patriot Way in the dictionary, it's going to have Tom Brady's name next to it. None of those coaches threw any passes. None of those coaches caught any passes. None of those coaches made any tackles. They got guys in the right position because they watch a lot of film and they spend all their time at the facility. But Tom Brady is the Patriot way, and that's the reason why Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl right now, and the Patriots aren't, because he's created a lifestyle around his play. The minute he walks into the locker room, he not only is the best player in the room, but he demands everybody to play their best too. He brings everybody up in the locker room, and he's a guy that look at his TB12 method. Look at his brand that he's created. Look at when you have a quarterback that has his own training room next to the facility with top-notch
trainers, everybody.
Facilities, trainers. Sorry, my headphone fell out. Trainers, facilities, and he allows his guys to come in and get that extra treatment to kind of instill in their minds how to create a lifestyle around their game, and it ultimately makes them better. So everything Tom Brady touches turns to gold, and it's true. Honestly, he's a remarkable person.
All right, listening to that, I gotta ask you, Roland, how much of those Super Bowls, those Patriots Super Bowls, is Tom responsible for? How much is Bill responsible for?
It's hard to say. I think Danny Amendola does have a point. I mean, the coaches aren't the ones out there making the plays, but Bill Belichick, he's one of the greatest defensive-minded coaches of all time. I mean, you can't really discount what he's done as a coach. I think we kind of saw, Tom Brady and his effect on a team going over to the Buccaneers this year. And the Patriots, we all know they had their problems with Cam Newton as their quarterback. That a couple of guys opt out because of COVID. But needless to say, I do think that Tom Brady does deserve, I guess, if you will, the lion's share of the credit. If I were to go, if I were to split the pie down the middle, I would give Tom Brady a bigger piece of the pie. I'll just say it like that. I don't want to do any percentages because that's splitting hairs and stuff. But I'll go with Tom Brady here. But Danny Amendola's kind of been like on a little scorched earth tour himself. He's been talking a lot of shit and any opportunity that he gets. And I don't know if he's necessarily happy with the way things ended with him in New England either. So got to take that into consideration as well. But, man, Tom Brady, he's the GOAT for a reason. I mean, he does bring out the best in other people. People want to go play with him. People want him to be their quarterback. And he's just like the LeBron James of basketball. Football, excuse me. People want to play with a guy. He makes his teammates better. He has a winning mentality. All these things that you want in a leader is what Tom Brady is out on the football field. So, yeah, I guess I'll give Tom Brady a little bit more credit because, I mean, he is the one out there making the play calls. But, hey, he's not the one doing the spying and all of that stuff. The coaching staff, I mean, they put in their work too. They put in their work also.
He is the one that wanted the balls a little flatter.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Hey, but I mean, Tom Brady made Danny Amendola's career. What do we expect to hear? If you ask Wes Welker the same thing, he's going to tell you the exact same thing. If you it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Got players.
Yeah. So I agree. Also, just because they're the ones on the field, but one of the focuses of this Super Bowl, and it's always an advantage when the Patriots are in there because we always think of Belichick as the best coach in the NFL. So for this Super Bowl, an interesting factor for me is, we get Bruce Arians there now and Andy Reid. Now, I think that pretty much everybody would say that Andy Reid is second behind Bill Belichick at this point.
Yeah.
Even though he just got his first Super Bowl. You know what? Like, he had a decorated career. The quarterbacks that he's done it with,
he was just lacking that Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was just lacking the Super Bowl. Now that he has it, and it seems like they might apparently go on a run of Super Bowls, you know what I mean, before he decides to hang it up. Andy Reid, everybody calls him a genius, one of the best offensive minds in the game. He finally just got his Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Like, he had Alex Smith, he had Jeff Garcia, he had Donovan McNabb, he finally got the guy. You know what I mean? Which Belichick has had for the longest time. Belichick has had the guy.
Yep.
Like Olin said, Belichick's defensive minded, and then Brady takes care of everything else on the field, man, offensively. So along with Josh McDaniels, but Brady has the keys. He had the keys with the Patriots.
Are you alluding to like the way that Arians has said he's letting Brady kind of coach on the field?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, but I mean, it was like that with the Patriots also because think of how many years he was in that system. I mean, he knew it better than anything. This is his first year with the Bucs, but with a quarterback like him, I mean, everybody calls him the GOAT. You're gonna let him go on the fly. You're gonna let him do what Peyton Manning did. That's just what the great quarterbacks do.
So you do give Brady a little more credit, or are you going to stick with?
They make the coaches look good, man. They make coaches look good. Coaches can't look good without players. Now they do got to get prepared, and Belichick is, very tactical, and he's crosses his T's and dots his I's. But at the end of the day, Brady's got to go out there and execute for him. Brady's got to get those game-winning drives for him. It's not Belichick.
All right, I like what you said about the players. They make the coaches look good, and players do that. And what I want to come over next on is the list that came out with the top 50 football players playing in this Super Bowl. I'm going to go over the list, and I'll have y'all guess the top 5 once we get to the top 5. And see if you agree with this list or you disagree.
If we're going down, I think it's going to be kind of easy to guess the 5.
Well, guessing the order correctly, and if you agree with the top 5's order or not. Gotcha. Number 15, Carlton Davis, cornerback for the Buccaneers. Number 14, Shaquille Barrett, defensive end, Buccaneers. Number 13, Antonio Brown, wide receiver, Buccaneers. Number 12, Mike Evans, wide receiver, Buccaneers. 11, Chris Godwin, wide receiver, Buccaneers. Moving into number 10, Tyrann Mathieu, safety for the Chiefs. Number 9, Tristan Wirfs, the right tackle for the Buccaneers. Number 8, Ali Marpet, the left guard for the Buccaneers. Number 7, Vita Vea, the defensive tackle for the Buccaneers. There's another guy we didn't mention earlier, Roland. Number 6, Levante David for the Buccaneers. We're going to stop there. Anybody from that 6 to 15 list that you think belonged in the top 5?
I was going to say you named the one Chief, so I guess all the Chiefs and Brady are top 5?
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy, bro.
And I'm going to ask a question after this once we get to the top 5, though. But that was crazy. That's quite a bit of Buccaneers. And not only that, that's quite a list of Buccaneers on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there anybody you would like to see in the top 5 from that 6 to 15 list?
I think you can make the argument for Levante David to be up there. He's arguably one of the best linebackers in the game. So, yeah, I'd like to see him up there.
I mean, if you haven't said Devin White, so if Devin White's in the top 5, I think it's okay to leave Levante David out. I think that Mike Evans should have been in the top 10 for sure.
Higher.
Oh, yeah, him at 12 or 11, wherever he was. But it seems like they're really harping on the O-line for the Bucs.
Yeah. All right.
Top 5?
Let's guess number 5, guys. Who's number 5 in your opinion? Who do you think is going to be?
I'm going to go with Ben's guess, Devin White.
It's Chris Jones, defensive tackle from the Chiefs.
Oh,
Chris
shit.
Jones,
Okay.
a unit, and he's the
About that.
problem at the defensive tackle, nose tackle position.
Well, then the next 4 is pretty easy.
Number 4, who's it going to be?
I'll say Tyreek Hill.
At
4
4.
is Tyreek Hill,
Okay.
wide receiver for the Chiefs. Cheetah, super speed, man. Definitely deserves to be in the top 5.
Never seen anything like it.
Number 3,
Kelsey.
Kelsey. Rollins back on it again. And if Kelsey's number 3, that obviously means Devin White is not in the top 15.
That's pretty crazy, bro.
Yeah.
He's top 10 in sacks.
I don't understand this list when it comes to Devin White. Where's the love for him?
Yeah.
Number 2, Brady Mahomes left. Who's it going to be?
I'll say 2 is Brady. Yeah.
Brady's number 2. He actually received a higher rating grade, but Mahomes did get the number 1 overall as far as the best player on this list. So this brings me to the next question. Given the top 15, which team has more talented players on their team?
That's a good question. I'm going to say the Chiefs, though, because the Chiefs arguably have, the 3 best players at their positions, and Mahomes, Kelsey, and Tyreek Hill. You can make the case that those are all the best guys at their respective position. And then you go into Chris Jones, another argument for the best at his position. So I think they have the most supremely talented players on their team. But as far as, spreading across the board, I got to go with the Bucs.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. I think the Bucs are definitely more talented, but the Chiefs are more talented in the more important positions.
The scoring,
which is going to get you will get you the points. And not to say that the roles could be flipped if Mahomes was a quarterback for Godwin, Mike Evans, and those guys, you know what I mean? Because we could easily see them in the top 5 and these other guys not in the top 5. But yeah, good offenses. Everybody likes a shootout. Everybody likes a lot of points. So those
for one
always fun, for sure. Those are always fun.
So Ben, I gotta ask you. We did have some props. We have a prop sheet. It's posted in the comments. We'll post it again during the week. What are some of the props that you like that you want to go over?
I thought there was some pretty interesting ones as far as first touchdown scored. Will the jersey number be odd or even?
Oh, I like that.
Because thinking about it, like the guys that you're going to put to score the first touchdown, you're going to think usually, we're saying what, Kelsey?
Hill or Kelsey is what I'm thinking.
Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, or even Sammy Watkins is an even number. So all 3 of those guys are even numbers. Chris Godwin is also number 14. He's an even number. On the other side, as far as the odd goes, Mike Evans at 13, Gronk at 87. And I don't know, Edwards-Helaire, he wears 27, I believe, right?
Edward Seller's 25. It's an odd number, but yeah.
Still odd, but I like even on that one. I actually think that the better players, and like we talked about, the more important players wear even numbers for this game. Kelce might be odd though, right? He's 87 or he's 88?
He's 87.
So Kelce's odd. I said he was even. I still like even. Even number score. I thought what Ron mentioned about Travis Kelce to score anytime, the 190 pretty high, but I mean he scored in the last 6 games. So we know that when they get into the red zone, the field shrinks a little bit, and if it's not a little quick option out to Tyreek Hill, it's always, I mean, they're looking for Kelce. So I like that. I also like what I found weird was, Roland, I don't know if you saw also how low Tyreek Hill's prop is for the 269 yards that he gained in the last game against the Bucs.
Well, I mean, you got to think maybe he's going to be a focal point of their defense this year or this game. They're not going to do a lot of man-to-man. I think that was a big mistake last time around. Todd Bowles, defensive coordinator there for the Bucs, having his guy try and match up Tyreek Hill one-on-one. I mean, you're just asking for him to go off for 260 yards in the first half. So, yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen again. But yeah, that is a little weird.
And like you mentioned also how the game kind of got close in the second half. And obviously they got away from the man-to-man that they were playing in the first half because they were able to kind of contain Tyreek for the most part in that second half. And although most of it was garbage time and they were, like we said, chunking, they got back into the game. So for that reason, if we do see something else like that, I think that Tom Brady over 25.5 completions. I favor the Chiefs in this game. I expect the Chiefs to be up. We talked about Tom Brady being a slow starter with 3 first-quarter points in his Super Bowl appearances. And if they're going to be down, it's going to be on his arm. They're going to throw to Fournette. They're going to throw to Brady. They're going to throw. He's got a lot of weapons. So I like Brady over 25.5 completions was another one that I
like that.
Out to me.
What about you, Roland? Any props that you like?
Yeah, props are my favorite thing about Super Bowl Sunday. The last couple of Super Bowls, I've gotten carried away. This last Super Bowl, I did pretty good on props, but I'm going to start it off before the game. Everybody's favorite, at least my favorite, is the National Anthem. National Anthem. You have, for the first time since Super Bowl 40, a duet is going to be taking the National Anthem. You have Jasmine Sullivan, who's an R&B singer. Actually, really, really like her. Wow. And Eric Church. They're going to do the Super Bowl duet for the National Anthem. And the over-under that I'm looking at is under 120.5 seconds. The under is a little juiced right now, and that's where I'm leaning. Eric Church has never performed the National Anthem on a big stage, but Jasmine Sullivan has done it twice, and she hasn't gotten close to 120 seconds on both occasions. I think the most that she did it in was like 102 seconds. Was the last time that she sang it. It is a little weird with the duet, so you never know what's going to happen there. But I am leaning with the under on this one, under 120 seconds. So that's 2 minutes to get it done.
It's gone down also, right, Roland?
Yeah, it's gone down. I don't know exactly what it opened at, but I did see it at a higher, slightly number.
I saw it at 2 minutes even.
Yeah, well, I have a.
Okay,
a 120.5.
I saw that it had gone down like 2 seconds.
Yes.
Which is also kind of strange though, because you say duet, so they might want to like remix it and try and sauce it up a bit, since it's 2 people. But I saw the same thing as you though. I've seen, and you get people that start seeing them audition and stuff throughout the week, and that's why this stuff starts moving and stuff. Like you start hearing things on Twitter. So I also like the under though.
I like that Super Bowl prop. I don't really do the heads or tails because that's straight up 50-50, so I won't do that one. But the next one, I think we touched on it a little bit. I know Ron brought it up, Ben brought it up, but Tom Brady, as good as he's been this year, he has turned the ball over a little bit, and we do think that they're going to be throwing the ball. I do like Tom Brady over half an interception. So all you have to do to cash this bet is Brady throw an interception. Those are some of my favorite props to take, and I'm taking the over on that one, even though I do think the Bucs are going to win the game. I do see Brady throwing a pick. I mean, he threw 3 last week, so all we're asking for here is 1. Another prop that I like, and this is just based on the last time that they played each other, Mike Evans had 2 touchdowns against the Chiefs last time out, so I'm going to go with Mike Evans to score a touchdown. You're not getting a lot of value on it because I do think guys have gotten onto that. Mike Evans has been a touchdown machine this year, and he did have prior success against the Chiefs. So I think what I saw it at last time was Mike Evans plus 125 to score a touchdown throughout the game. So I will be dabbling in on that one. The other stuff that I like to dabble in, and I'll throw out one here, is cross sports props. So Sunday, the Super Bowl is not the only game going on. You got the NBA going on also. So that's where I'm looking at. It's a little cross sport prop. Ben also, and Ron, I think it was Ben primarily though, did touch on Tom Brady and his slow starts in the Super Bowl. So if you're a believer that there's going to be a potential slow start here, especially with Tom Brady's past record, I do have a fun little cross-sport prop for you if you have it available on your betting site, and that's the first quarter points for the Chiefs and Buccaneers combined, plus 1.5 versus LaMelo Ball's points for the total for the whole game. So LaMelo Ball's a 1.5 point favorite for points scored versus the total first quarter outcome of the Bucs and Chiefs. And on Sunday, the Hornets play the Wizards. It's going to be a back and forth game, in my opinion. So that's one of the cross-sport bets that I'm going to be taking. LaMelo Ball points minus 1.5.
Wizards is not very good, and LaMelo's starting now. So
hell yeah, baby. And this is a LaMelo Ball podcast, so got to shout him out there.
He's been starting because Rozier was out, but I think once Rozier comes back, he'll be bumped down. But regardless, when you play the Wizards, I mean, you're scoring in the 130s. So he's going to get up some points.
So, guys, I got to ask you what's on everybody's mind. For the winning coach, what color is the Gatorade that will be dumped on him?
Do we have the choices?
It's like orange, blue, pink, yellow.
I don't have the.
It's not down to flavors or anything like that.
I'll go with orange though.
I'm gonna go with traditional yellow.
Yeah, I'll go with the yellow as well.
Yellow, orange. Need to do
the other prop I do like is will Tampa score or punt first? I think they will be punting first, and that is at minus 125.
I also like Tampa to get the ball first. Just because of how aggressive Arians is and Andy Reid, the Chiefs, they always usually defer. I know the Bucs in one of their games in this playoffs, they actually got the ball first. They took the ball first, so I like Bucs to get the ball first. Not necessarily win the coin toss, but get ball.
I do have one more, and this is also buying into Tom Brady's slow starts. I'm going to be taking Tom Brady's second half plus overtime passing yards versus first half passing yards. That's another one that I like there. The juice isn't too much.
What about first play not to be a first down?
I like that. I could see the first play being like an incompletion.
Or even just a Fournette handoff or an Edwards-Helaire handoff.
Let me see.
We do got a question coming in from Mark Choppa earlier, and he asked, who throws more, Brady or Mahomes? In my opinion, it's going to be Mahomes unless they do get behind and where Ben said Brady's going to have to throw and chunk up the ball to get him back. Other than that, I think Mahomes will be pass heavy while Buccaneers have a little bit more of a balanced attack, I think.
That makes sense. How do you think that they play it defensively, the Bucs? Like, we obviously don't think that they're going to be in man, right?
No, it should be a lot of zone.
They played in the second half.
And you think that they try and eliminate Tyreek as far as maybe some – like, because I'm thinking Hardman might have a really good game. Or Sammy Watkins, who's finally coming back. I know I've seen a lot of chatter about Sammy Watkins for MVP. Sammy Watkins' first touchdown scored.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that too.
He's got really good odds, and we know that last Super Bowl he had a really good Super Bowl as well against the Niners last year.
For sure.
How long has it been since he's been in the game? Because I kind of don't.
He hasn't played all playoffs. I know that for sure. But
it's been too long that I'm not to gauge where he's at.
He's a vet, bro, and I think that if he's going to play and he's going to start, it's because he's ready to go.
will score first and which player? I'm gonna take Mahomes.
To score first.
Boy,
I'm gonna go Mike Evans.
So you're saying Mahomes is gonna run it in, just?
I'm saying Mahomes to Kelsey.
So
Kelsey's your guy. I got Evans. Evans first touchdown.
I'll go Sammy Watkins.
You're on the Sammy Watkins train. That's for sure.
I mean, I mentioned it. I might as well back it, right? What was the point of mentioning it if I'm not going to back it? And it's plus 1,300 as well for him to score first, or 900, around there. He has really, really big odds because, like you said, when's the last time he played?
All right, we do have another guest coming on the show. Is Leo ready?
I'm not sure. Is he?
Since we have.
Yeah, Leo's ready.
I like that picture, Leo. That avatar.
Good shit.
My surprise. We got another guest on the show as well, Fonz.
Oh, wow.
In one of the nastiest jerseys we've seen since the Cowboy season ended.
Wow.
Hey,
What
I'm
up,
a Cowboys
Brady?
fan. I represent. I know, hey, Ben, I know you're ashamed to show who you're supporting because your teams are just.
He doesn't even know who he's supporting. He doesn't even know who he's supporting right now. He doesn't
I
even
know,
know.
but hey,
Podcast or a technical
lifelong.
Ben's a confused little boy right now. He's lost.
He's a nomad.
Hey, I wanted to bring up something real quick. Something that Ben was talking about, and I found it funny because Ben was saying on whether he likes the chances of odds number scoring or even. I like how Ben just listing everything. He's like, odd has Brown, Mike Evans, Gronk, Jones, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Demarcus Robinson, Hardman.
I like even.
But watch it. But you're like, hey, let me finish. And then you're like, and even has Tyreek Hill. It has Chris Godwin and Travis Kelce. Oh wait, never mind. He's odd. I still like even.
Sammy Watkins. I just picked him to score first.
I know, but all I'm saying is that like you listed off like more players on the outside, and
math was never my strongest subject, Fonz. Okay, math was not my strongest subject.
It was just lunch and basketball for Ben.
Hey, notice how I'm not throwing stats out and shit.
You guys have a gut.
Nicole Hardman, first one to score. That could be.
Leo,
reverse jet sweep.
What do y'all think about the Super Bowl? What do y'all got?
I got the Chiefs by 10.
Okay.
Wow.
What's your reasoning for that, Leo?
I just think they're not going to be able to slow down Mahomes, to be honest.
Leo was saying that Brady was also over the wagon to start the season. So if Brady wins the Super Bowl,
he did get carried to that Super Bowl in that last game, bro. Let's be honest.
Leo, a lot of people say the same thing about Russell
Wilson
carried by the Legion of Doom in that Super Bowl against Peyton Manning or Boom, whatever they're called. But I mean, he threw 3 picks, but he also threw 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
So I mean,
and he iced him out. I mean, that bomb at the end of the half to Scotty Miller. I mean, that's a defensive mishap, but that was a dime.
And there was no help from some of those picks were tip passes. I mean, I'm not saying he threw that one bad one towards the sideline.
He just chunked it, yeah.
Yeah, and he should have had another one just like that one picked earlier in the game, but Mike Evans didn't help him on a couple of those.
No.
The only problem I see with them, to be honest, with the Chiefs actually, is their 2 tackles are going to be out.
And their center.
Yeah, their center too. So, I mean, that D-line might eat on them, but the way Mahomes showed up against the 49ers D-line last year, I'm not really too worried.
All right, what about you, Fonz? Who do you got, Chiefs or Bucks? And what do you see for that team's path to victory?
Okay, I got the Chiefs by 7. I mean, I would go as far as like Leo. I like his pick. Chiefs by 10. I don't know. I don't understand what the craze is about the Bucks. Everybody just wants that feel-good story for Brady. But let's be honest, Brady, that second half, just like y'all keep trying to overlook and give him all the excuses that he needs. He threw 3 picks. He looked horrible. If it weren't for that last second touchdown to Miller at the end of the first half, I think the second half would have been a very different story. Brady was looking exactly the way that last time I was on this pod, I said Brady's going to throw 2 picks. I was wrong. He threw 3. And look, Brady, to me, looks like, and it reminds me of Peyton Manning when he won that Super Bowl with the Broncos. That's the way that that's the way that he looks.
That's the worst take I've ever heard in my life.
No.
That would have been Drew Brees in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's Drew Brees. Tom Brady's nowhere close to that.
No. I get what you're
saying. Let me hear you out.
Look. If you look at the last game, and even if you look at toward the end of the season, the defense has been stepping up. The defense has been carrying the Bucs. The defense is what has taken Brady this far. If it weren't for the defense, let's be honest, the Bucs wouldn't be in this position right now. That's all I'm saying. And to me, it's reminiscent of Manning and the Broncos. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
I appreciate the take, but I don't know about it.
I mean,
with the strong defense, I guess that's fair. I see what you're saying, but Peyton Manning was putting every ounce of his body into a 10-yard dig. Tom Brady is nowhere close to that, like on a physical.
It's what we've seen from Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Well, Fonzie did give us a prediction as far as 7, and Leo, you said 10 for the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. I do need a definitive score prediction from both y'all, just to see who ends up with the closest score prediction on this podcast.
I think I'd say 40-30, to be honest.
Oh, shit, going with the over. I like that.
God,
how many points?
Somebody in the comment section had said it was going to be a college football song. That sounds about.
Mike said that.
Yeah, I think it'll be a track meet.
I think it's
definitive score.
The definitive score 31-24 Chiefs.
31-24 Chiefs.
All right. And I got to ask you guys, who is your Super Bowl MVP?
I got Mahomes.
Mahomes?
I mean, if they're winning the game, it's got to be Mahomes. Unless it's I can't remember that receiver for the Steelers that caught that beautiful tiptoe catch.
Santonio
Holmes.
Santonio Holmes. That tiptoe catch to beat the Cardinals. Unless that's like Tyreek Hill and Tyreek has a monstrous game. Like unless it's a play like that from a player on the Chiefs side, it's going to be Mahomes.
Yeah.
We got a question for both of y'all. Which defense would y'all take between the two?
Bucs.
Yeah, I'd take the Bucs, to be honest. I just think the Chiefs' offense is that much better. Puts them over the top.
Well, that makes sense.
And you know what it is on Super Bowl Sunday? It's the big game. And with the big game comes along the big meal. What's on the menu, Fonz, for Sunday?
It has to be pizza and wings. When you're watching a football game, it's pizza and wings.
It has to be part of it, at least. It has to be somewhere there. It has to be somewhere there, for sure. It's not a football game without wings.
Fonz, pizza from where? What bougie spot are you eating pizza up there in Dallas from?
No. Well, first of all, I'm not in Dallas, but not anymore. I used to be in Dallas, but for me, I mean, I know everybody's got their spot, but when we're talking about like I guess the major delivery pizza places, fast food, for me it's Domino's, but I like to mix it up. Sometimes I like to get Domino's. Domino's wings have kind of dropped off for me. I used to get the pizza and wings combo all the time.
It used to be
now, yeah, but now honestly they've fallen down. I actually go get Wingstop and I get Domino's pizza. So
I said bougie, right? I did say bougie. When you go to two separate spots for your pizza and wings, that is.
Gotta get those orders in now. Gotta get those orders in now.
That's a lot of work. 2 spots on a Sunday.
Yeah.
But they're gonna break records this year with all those pizza orders.
Yeah, kind of the same as Fonz, honestly. Pizza and wings. Just not sure where I'm gonna get it from.
I have a question for the guests.
Let's go, Roland.
We just got done talking about some props. I have 2 fun props I want to ask you guys about. I didn't bring up this one in the last segment, but Tom Brady over under half a rushing yard. Half. All you have to do to cash the bet is have Tom Brady get 1 rushing yard.
I'd say over.
Okay. What about you, Fonz? You guys are going with the over?
If this were like college, and if you got sacked, it'd be negative yards. I would say I wouldn't say over.
That's fair.
But
That's fair.
the fact that in the NFL they don't count those as negative yards, I just have a feeling that there's going to be one play where Brady has an offensive line. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be one play where he's just there, and he's not going to find anybody, and he's going to try to go get a first down. He's going to slide. Nobody's going to touch him. Or if they do, they're going to give him a 15-yard, first down. But I think he'll get that half yard.
Okay, and I got one more for you guys.
It's even one of his signature plays, like QB sneak. Like he's
QB sneak.
He can get that.
QB sneak.
Hey, but Roland, one thing that had a lot of people pissed off, and they're saying is like the worst beat in Super Bowl history was Mahomes' rushing yards last year.
Last year, that was bad.
At the end of the game,
that was bad.
And that subtracted yards. He was over by like 5 yards. He took 3 knees and went under by a yard of his rushing prop. So none of us expect Brady to be in victory formation.
Exactly.
That's a good point. And the last one that I have, and we just talked about this one, is the National Anthem. Over under 120 seconds.
Who's singing it?
It's Jasmine Sullivan and Eric Church. It's a duet.
The fact that it's a duet leads me to believe it's going to be carried long. That's the only thing.
They're going to remix it.
That worries me about it. Exactly, because they like to, how they like to extend the national anthem, and they sing every single syllable. You know what I mean? They just extend it as long as possible, and so the fact that there's a duet, I have a feeling it's going to go over.
Okay.
These are country singers, I'm assuming, right?
Jasmine Sullivan's R&B and Eric Church country. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd take the over also.
Leo, do you want to know if a guitar will be used also, Leo?
Trying to make an educated bet, boy.
All right, so over also, Leo?
Yeah, I got the over.
Okay.
So we got everybody taking the Bucks.
No, the Chiefs,
the Chiefs, my bad. Yeah, everybody's taking the Chiefs.
Oh, you're taking the Bucks?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to bet on them, but for the sake of the podcast, I got the Bucks +3.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bucks. I was the only one who has been reluctant to say who I want to win, but yeah, I'm not going to put money on this one, but I'm taking the Bucks.
And I'll sell some Tom Brady cards afterwards.
Are y'all looking forward to commercials or not really? Y'all are really not Super Bowl commercial people.
I already saw the commercials.
I like them.
That's one of my favorite things. I love the commercials, but I feel like they've kind of been mid the past couple of years, kind of been hit or miss. Is there going to be a big movie preview? I know there's usually a big movie that gets a commercial during the games. I don't know if there's anything coming out.
I know I saw that Budweiser, who usually has Super Bowl commercials, didn't have any spots this year.
Oh, Gabby got the Bucks too. Nice.
Leo, we got a question for you, Leo.
What's up?
Coming in from Mike Gonzalez, he wants to know, how much do you bench, and is that bow tie a clip-on?
550 max, and yes.
Damn,
what a big boy.
Yo, Mike had been asking about that bow tie for a while.
Yeah, he wasn't. I don't know if Leo had seen it. I was waiting for
seriously, don't be bringing that shit onto our podcast.
Nah, I didn't.
What type of picture is that, bro? No one wants Val Venus on here.
The legend, boy.
Tell him to get a towel.
Leo, what did you?
That's why Leo's gamer tag is something Venus, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's
Leo.
Subway.
I gotta ask you. Gotta ask you and Justin. What did you guys think about Bad Bunny on WWE last week? What was it? It was Royal Rumble.
Yeah, Royal Rumble. I'm not too much of a fan, to be honest, but it's pretty cool that he's so into wrestling.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Justin?
No, I thought it was cool. Anytime you get a international superstar on the show, it's cool, man.
Leo's overplaying it.
Culture and wrestling mix.
Leo was already putting his Vince McMahon hat on and was like, "Oh, he'll be at WrestleMania because he came out here and this, and that." So
they do this shit every year.
Rumor is he's gonna be at WrestleMania. That's the rumor.
Yeah, I can already see it.
They got him in a package, I think, with the Miz probably.
Yeah,
the Miz.
The only thing left is for them to put Bad Bunny against Brock Lesnar, bro.
Hey, fun fact. Bad Bunny's T-shirt with WWE is the #1 seller right now.
Yeah,
no
I
shit.
like that.
I guess it expands both of their markets. They help each other out.
Yeah, they do.
So we didn't even ask these guys. Let's ask Fonz first. Fonz, what's your recap for the Cowboy season? And what do we have to look forward to for next year from your perspective? Any big needs you want to see addressed?
I mean, recap for the Cowboy season. I mean, it all fell when Dax, went out. When Dax
His ankle
went out,
exploded.
Yeah, it was over. I mean, honestly, I wasn't. The way the season was going, even up to his injury, I was already punting on the season. I was like, really? You know what I mean? Because as you guys know, I am not a fan of Kellen Moore. I feel like that's our biggest. That's what's holding us back, honestly, Kellen Moore. But I digress. We leave that aside. I was punting on the season even up to that point. But as we know, the NFC East, or as they were known this year, the NFC least, it was the worst division in the league, And so knowing that, I know that if Dak had not gotten injured, we would have won the division. Like that, plain and simple. Now, I'm not saying that we would have had a good record or we would have even won a playoff game, but we would have made it to the playoffs. For me, it's that simple. So we would have been division winners. That would have been the recap, but obviously that was shot when Dak was gone. And let's be real too. Like, I mean, even I was saying, hey, Andy Dalton can hold the shit, but
we all were.
We lost the whole offensive line. We lost Tyron Smith. Zach Martin was gone for half the season, and La'el Collins was gone as well. Like, I mean, we were playing with no names and mixing them around, and Dalton was just getting ate up, So we had no shot. Now, what do we have to look forward to? Honestly, we need to buff up our defense.
So you want to see defense addressed?
Defense needs to be addressed in the draft. Although, as I've mentioned, that tight end from Florida, Kyle Pitts. I mean, if somewhat like if we, I'm just saying, it'd be tempting.
No, we don't need another toy. We don't need another shiny toy.
I know.
You do need a tight end, though. You do need one.
Dalton Schultz is fine. Dalton Schultz is fine.
Okay, but this Kyle Pitts guy is going to be generational tight end.
We need a cornerback or we need an offensive lineman.
And you just took CeeDee Lamb, bro. We
don't need another toy. We don't need another toy.
Hey, look, all I said that is it would be tempting, okay? As Roland knows, because whether he pays attention or not in the chat that we're in, I said, we need to go defense, okay? That's the necessity. But I'm just saying it would be tempting. You don't want to miss, as Justin mentioned, on a potential generational player. You know what I mean? If Randy Moss is on the board and you're like, oh, but the thing is we need a corner.
Yeah,
like,
that,
come on, bro. You know what I mean?
What if
you know what I'm saying?
Jefferson's on the board and CeeDee Lamb's on the board?
CeeDee Lamb, I think, in my opinion, I still would go to CeeDee Lamb. I love CeeDee Lamb.
Would you have still taken defense or CeeDee Lamb looking back at the season?
CeeDee Lamb, because receiver was kind of a need last year. We needed to beef up the receiving core.
Gallup was bad.
He came on towards the end of the year
because he didn't have Dak throwing to him.
I mean, Cooper wasn't bad.
So
didn't have Dak throwing to him.
So anyway,
all that
we need to address the defense. Okay, Kellen Moore needs to Kellen Moore. What Kellen Moore needs to do besides get fired, if he's going to stay our offensive coordinator, when it's third down, he needs to tell the receivers to go beyond the first down marker. Okay, again, as I mentioned, I'm tired of it being third and long and us dumping it off on the side, for a screenplay. Or if it's 3rd and 7, our receivers running 5-yard outs and getting tackled immediately. No. On third down, he needs to instruct his receivers to go beyond the first down marker. That's one thing for Kellen Moore. And again, as far as our defense, we need. I mean, I've been saying, how come we can't get Chris Richard back? You know what I mean? There's defensive coordinators out there that we can get. You know what I'm saying? So that's my perspective. And then on top of that, which I hope we get to address I know this is Super Bowl week, and so we're focused on the Super Bowl. But I would love to join in on conversation and talk about why Eric Bieniemy is still not a head coach. I cannot understand why he's not. I mean, he was the top coaching candidate coming into this offseason. He was the top one. In fact, he's been talked as one of the top ones last year. And as I mentioned on the last pod, I would drop Mike McCarthy on a dime if I knew Eric Bieniemy would say yes to the Cowboys head coaching.
So just reeling it back to the Cowboys. What's your prediction for next year? And is signing Dak, and do we get a long-term deal with Dak done, or do we put him on the franchise tag? Those are my last two questions for you.
We cannot afford to put Dak on the franchise tag. That's gonna consume the cap. It's not gonna allow us to do anything. So we have to sign him to a long-term deal. Okay, I was on the fence on giving Dak, the money that he wants, because this guy's asking this guy's asking for Pat Mahomes money, and he's not Pat Mahomes. At least Pat Mahomes took him to the Super Bowl. If Dak can guarantee he's going to take us to the Super Bowl, pay him his money, because the Cowboys in the Super Bowl is, you know what I mean? It's Armageddon, bro. But
leads me to my next.
We need to sign Dak. Okay.
Okay.
And, from what I've heard is that they still have the 5-year, $175 million deal on the table. They're going to need to increase that annual amount.
Put a two.
Yeah, and they need to please Dak, because Dak proved it last year. If Dak, the way that our offense, the trajectory, even though Kellen Moore is offensive coordinator, the way that our offense was looking prior to Dak's injury, it looked like we were going to have 3 1,000-yard receivers. Statistically, that's the way that it was going, and that's because we lost Jarwin at the beginning of the season, and we had big expectations for him. So I think if Dak fully healthy comes back, I think it's I don't know. I'm optimistic that we can do well, especially how bad the NFC East was last year. But we do have to shore up that defense in order for us to do anything worth noting, in order for us to go to the playoffs and at least win a game.
So you'll say that we make the playoffs next year? We as in the Cowboys?
Yes. If we sign Dak, yes.
All right. Fonz is on the board. Cowboys making the playoffs next year.
What did we expect him to say?
Okay. Now, this one's interesting. Leo, are you still there?
The one we've all been waiting for.
Leo, what do you have to say for the way the Seahawks finished the season and the way that the golden boy, Mr. Russell Wilson, threw the offense under the table, which a few other players have followed suit and agreed with him. But how do you feel about all that and the way the season played out for you guys?
Oh, yeah, it was a pathetic finish, dude. Starting from the Giants game, you could already see those problems there that they just wouldn't adjust when the defense was taking away the deep ball. That's how we were killing teams at the start of the year. And Shoddy just never changed up the offense. It was just deep ball, maybe a screen pass here or there. But that's literally it. I think Greg Olsen had 300 yards the entire year. We just did not use the tight ends down the middle at all. We were just one-dimensional, and it caught up with us, to be honest. So that's why I'm glad we got rid of Shoddy and we took a coordinator from the Rams. I think he'll have some more creativity for sure.
And what position? Because you're gonna have to educate me. I'm not as well versed on the Seahawks as I am the Cowboys. What needs to be addressed in the offseason as far as personnel is concerned?
I think we definitely need to get a left guard. We've had Mike Upati the past 2 years, but he gets hurt every other game. We bring in a backup. He's not as good. We just gotta. Honestly, I hope we draft O-line this year. Maybe at least 2 picks.
Yeah, you guys need O-line.
That's been our Achilles heel for the past 5 years. I got Ben telling me every fucking year, y'all aren't going to do shit. Aaron Donald's going to eat you alive, and then it happens every time.
All right.
So what's the situation with the Wheeler kid on the O-line?
With him? He was a bum, to be honest, Justin. Dude never played. Yeah, he was a practice squad dude. He'd get called up, but he'd get a special team snap on the extra point, if anything. He never really played that much. He's off
the team though, right? Y'all don't got to worry about that situation.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, they lucked out that he was a free agent this year, because that was pretty disturbing for sure.
So you gotta put on your cape, Leo. There's a known Russell Wilson detractor on the podcast right now, and your brother Ben.
Shoddy, you didn't hear that?
Yeah, but you got to put on your cape.
Like Tekashi, he's blaming Shoddy.
Russell Wilson he's still in the elite.
Yeah, he's still in the elite. Don't get me wrong. He threw some stupid-ass picks. But, he ain't calling the plays. Shoddy's got to do better.
He's no Josh Allen, though. Can we at least
Come on, bro.
Bro. Come on, bro.
You pick a different QB every year that's better than Russ, bro. Last
Hey,
year
that
was
might be my
Lamar.
QB of the future, all right?
Last year was Lamar is the
watched it.
future. Russ ain't got shit on him. Where was he this year?
Hey, Lamar went further than Russ, bro. So I don't know where your argument is on this. Last question for you, though. The Rams trading what seems to be all of their first-round picks that they had left until 2030 for Matt Stafford. Obviously, I've known you to be Jared Goff. I mean, you've been telling me for years that he was holding back the Rams the whole time, which ended up being true. They got to the Super Bowl, scored 3 points. Yeah. Probably the easiest Super Bowl Belichick and Brady have won. Did the Rams get better? Are the Rams now the favorites in the division? What does Matthew Stafford going to the Rams do for them?
They got better for sure. I'm not going to lie about that. I just think they gave up way too much to get Stafford. He's a good QB, don't get me wrong, but like I said, I think I told Joby, I think that's what you trade for, like a guy like Watson. I mean, maybe even Dak, to be honest, he was in a similar situation.
Or like Stephon Diggs.
It just depends. But I mean, Stafford, he's up there. He's got injury history already. They get one bad injury. They're really top heavy. I could see it just like come crashing down, to be honest.
The Rams seem to be a team that doesn't like having first round picks. Like they traded a first for Ramsey, if not a couple firsts for Ramsey.
Yeah, it was 2.
Yeah, so I mean, this was right in their MO. I guess they still feel that their window is now making the playoffs, and
they were in the Super Bowl 3 years ago. So their window,
their window is 2 years, in my opinion, to be honest. But see if they can get it done.
I like the fact that they were aggressive and that they knew they had already hit their ceiling with Goff and that he was just holding them back. So yeah, I mean, they came out on the shittier end as far as giving up those 2 first-round picks, Goff and I believe a second. But the thing is, you weren't going to get anyone with Goff, so why keep messing around there? Just move on. Let's go. You know what I mean?
The thing that I like about the trade, just so I can put my 2 cents in real quick, is that the Rams are trying to win. You know what I mean? There's a team somewhere in Houston that they're literally trying to lose. I mean, think about it. They traded DeAndre Hopkins in order to get a big contract in a running back, a deteriorating running back, and on top of that, only got a 4th-round pick. You know what I'm saying? And so the Rams are trying to win. I like where they're going, but to kind of spin this real quick, how offended would you be? I mean, like I said, we see this all the time where trades happen. Like even Randy Moss got traded to the Patriots for like a 4th-round pick, 3rd-round pick, something like that. This happens all the time. But how offended would you be if they traded you and sent 2 firsts along with you? Like, hey, this guy sucks so bad that not only are we going to give you our quarterback, our number 1 pick, but we're going to send 2 firsts along with him. You know what I mean? Like, how low does the franchise think of Goff that they added 2 first-round picks to send to the Lions in order for them to get Matthew Stafford?
He had come out and said he would smash his coach's girlfriend, bro.
That was the beginning of the end. That was in
a group chat. He said that he would do it.
He was in the doghouse for a while.
Yeah, McVay was like, we got to get him out of LA for sure.
Yeah, and it kind of got weird when they started announcing Walford as a starter, even though Goff was clearly able to play. And that, I think it was a game against the Seahawks, if I'm mistaken.
It was a playoff game.
He started and he got knocked out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that says a lot.
Even during that game, I was wondering, like, why is this guy starting? I had asked in our chat, and then I had to look it up, and I didn't even know. Like, they made that BS excuse that Goff's thumb was hurt, and that's the reason why he couldn't play. But yet, I understand. But he was
well enough to play.
Obviously. Yeah. Exactly. And they still decided to put Wolford in. And then even when they went to the playoff game and they were asking questions like, hey, who's going to be the starting QB? I think McVay was saying, well, we got to check on the health of Wolford first. Like those were red flags, like showing like they still wanted anything but Goff.
And I do want to say on the trade, I agree with what Fawn said. You got to commend the team for going for it. They've identified that they have a window, and that's what you do when you have a window. You put all your chips in. But I will say, they spent a lot to get Goff. They traded up that draft. I think they gave up about 3 picks to get him. They sent him and sent 2 picks to get Matt Stafford back. So that's about 5 picks that they gave up just for the whole Goff and Stafford thing. The only thing I will say is because they did the same thing for Ramsey, they traded away a bunch of picks to get Ramsey on the other side of the ball, shutdown corner, which came through and was awesome for them. But I will say, you got to win a Super Bowl, because after this window's closed, you guys, your future's kind of screwed, because we've highlighted all the draft picks that they've given away in the first round. So one of these next 2 years, we better be talking the Rams in the Super Bowl. Or I will be on the other side and saying that it didn't work out for them. But right now, you got to commend them going for it. Matthew Stafford, I had him in my top 10 in the beginning of the year. He's a diamond in the rough, if you believe that, playing in Detroit all those years. And now's his time to show that, he's a talented guy. I think Aaron Rodgers came out in the middle of the year and said, hey, everybody commends Patrick Mahomes for making all these crazy throws, but Matthew Stafford kind of plays the same way, except he's out in Detroit. So and we talk about it all the time. A player's success sometimes, despite their talent, is circumstantial. And the circumstance that you find yourself in terms of the organization and your teammates around you and whatnot. So Matthew Stafford,
going to that point, Roland, because I saw on the last pod when you were talking about, you were just trashing on Aaron Rodgers, because you were like, you were just saying, hey, this, I don't want this comparison anymore. Because we had talked about, hey, what if Aaron Rodgers was on the Patriots? And I told you, I said, I think they don't lose those 3 Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then after the game, you're like, Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, hey, hold up. First of all, granted, Aaron should have won the game, but like the coach, LaFleur he didn't trust him on that 4th down. Okay.
Yeah.
And then second, we have to look at Aaron Rodgers, at his organization. Tell me how many first round pick receivers he's played with. The answer is
1 or
0.
2. 0. Oh, Devontae and Crosby were both in the 2nd round.
They haven't drafted a receiver, and then it shows. Last year, I mean, Aaron Rodgers was on a crusade this past year, and I know I'm going off in the tangent, but I just wanted to make a point that they instead of investing, imagine, look, Aaron Rodgers took them to the national the NFC Championship game. You know what I mean? That's 2 years in a row, right? And instead of giving him a weapon like CeeDee Lamb, imagine what the Packers would have done with a receiver like, imagine what they could have done. But instead of doing that, they go for Jordan Love. And for what? You waste your first round pick just for a QB that you're going to have on the bench the whole season? You know what I mean? If they had invested that into talent that Aaron Rodgers could have utilized, I think we'd be talking about 2 different opponents in the Super Bowl, right? But again, like Roland mentioned, you're talking about circumstantial, where as far as what is the organization they're playing with. Like I said, Houston, they're punting on everything. They don't even know what to do with talent, right? And so we're talking about the Rams. Going back to, we have to commend, the Rams for at least.
Talk about all 32 teams while you're at it.
Ben just taking strays on the chin this whole time.
You would think like they won 5 games and he's talking like this. It's wild. Like they just hired a new coach and shit the bed against the Niners. Like the Washington football team won your division and you're throwing shots at Houston. I don't understand it at all.
Bro. Okay, there's 2 different scenarios. Because we talk about that getting hurt for the whole season. You had,
and then we talk about you believing in Andy Dalton.
You had hey, you said the whole pod was on that as well. So,
you got rid of the clapper. You got rid of the clapper, and you won less games.
Obviously, I struck a chord with you, Ben. Obviously, I struck a chord with you.
No, you're
air it out, Ben. Get it out.
It's not that you struck a nerve. You finally gave us time to talk.
I know it hurts. Let's go.
We just couldn't get a word in, so it's not that you struck a nerve. I'm just trying to get a word in. But you got rid of the clapper, and then the Giants beating you all and him being the OC kept you out of the playoffs. I mean, like, what is there to boast and brag about or throw shots at other teams? You just got a new coach, and you were worse than your last coach that was a problem. So now you're blaming Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore out of all.
Hey, first of all, I have receipts. I've been blaming Kellen Moore for the last 3 years. Okay, I got receipts. Okay, so let's not make it seem like I'm making this like a new thing and I'm just trying to play the blame game. Okay, and then second, I'm over here. Like I said, I didn't choose Mike McCarthy. Yeah, I believed in him at the beginning of the season, but I didn't choose him. Like I said, if it were up to me, I'd go with Eric Bieniemy. Hey, but no matter what, I'm a Cowboys fan, bro. Okay, I'm not over here looking to jump on another ship like somebody else over there that's sitting on the couch with a red cap. I'm just saying, bro. Like I don't see you.
Bam, baby.
Okay, cool.
It's always Houston.
But I like how it's reversed. I like how it's reversed because you're embarrassed, bro. Hey, you got to wear it forward so everybody knows.
I don't have a haircut. That's it. But honestly, though, bro, I mean, you can
still wear it forward, though. What does you not having a haircut have to do with how you wear it?
Because it doesn't even come out on the screen. What's the point?
I'm just saying, like, that didn't make sense.
Look at this. Now you can see it. The point is, you got McCarthy and you got worse. And now you're talking about drafting a tight end when you said that your biggest need is defense. It seems like you're not.
Dude, man, this is a real pod, and you're like Skip Bayless, bro. Like you like to twist everything, man.
Hey, well, I
pointed out that if we were gonna make a pick, that we need to go defense. That's what we need to address, and that's what I told you. And again,
and you said there's a tight end from Florida State.
So
I said I would be tempted, bro. I would
just to tie us back in to the Super Bowl. I know, Ben. We won't talk about what team or whatever, but just assuming right now you're still Houston Texans guy, Deshaun Watson still on the Texans.
You can't expect somebody to be a fan of a team if they trade DeAndre Hopkins one off season.
Fair.
Deshaun Watson.
Fair.
Like,
let's say
you a pass on that, man. You got to pass.
Let's say they keep Deshaun Watson. Let's say they keep Deshaun Watson. You're still a Texans fan.
Fonz is if he moves. That's it.
Fonz and Ben. Just to wrap this up, what team ends up back in the Super Bowl first? Or the Texans would be their first appearance, but who gets to the Super Bowl first, the Texans or the Cowboys?
As long as Jerry Jones is there, they won't get there. But I mean, I can say the same thing about our owner. They're both dumbasses. Like,
who's the worst owner?
Well, I mean, this son hasn't won anything. Jerry has won stuff back then, but I don't know if the Texans owner would have fired the coach that just won him the Super Bowl either, the way Jerry did Jimmy Johnson. So, I mean, obviously Jerry has the titles and shit, but they're both terrible, bro. They're both terrible.
I agree. I agreed with Ben because I know we got on a little Twitter thing, and I said, "Hey Ben, you got me on that. Both owners are POSs, dude. You know what I mean?" So I agree with him on that. But I mean, let's be real. The Texans aren't making the Super Bowl before the Cowboys. I mean, at least the Cowboys, we're keeping our talent. You know, Houston just likes to trade them, and they like to get shit picks and shit contracts back. So,
well, yeah, but I mean, you can't tell me Zeke's not on a shit contract.
It looked bad this year. I'll say that, and I'm a Zeke guy. It looked bad.
I mean,
I'm still on Zeke. Hey, Zeke's gonna make a comeback.
I'm still a Zeke guy too.
Homers are homers. That's fine.
Hey, just real quick, just because. Hey,
I'm still a Zeke guy. I'm still a Zeke guy.
Because of that.
Ben brought up Zeke.
You could have had Jalen Ramsey, but you took Zeke.
So I think the real question.
Yeah, that was a gotcha missed up.
The real question I have is Leo. There's an interesting comment I saw on Twitter. I haven't been on Twitter much these past few weeks, but you mentioned that Ben used to be a Cowboys fan. Is this true?
He used to be a Cowboys fan.
Yo fan.
Nah, Cowboys fan. He had a jersey, bro. He had a jersey. You're a fan.
The GOAT.
I just had to ask that question.
The GOAT. T.O.
And so do we see you come back in any way to the Cowboys if they trade Watson? I mean, we got the forms for you. I'll sign them.
The closest I'll get to being a Cowboys fan is clapping when y'all lose, bro. Just like Garrett. Just right here. And I'll smile for y'all too.
What I'm hoping for this offseason is J.J. Watt to go to the Seahawks to see Ben's head explode.
So what? So you could let him walk in a year like Clowney? Oh, man. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Everyone's coming for Ben's head top this week.
That's how it usually is, bro. But the good thing is, though, I'm on the front lines, baby, so I know how to play defense.
There we go. I like that. Hey, Roland, I got to ask you a question because I wasn't able to ask you while you were going off on the Stafford tangent. You did say he was a gem or a diamond. I got to ask you, by that measure, is Jameis Winston a diamond or a gem, in your opinion?
No, because he threw like how many picks last year? Like 30?
Well, I got something for you. Since 2010, Jameis and Stafford touchdowns, Stafford 125, Jameis 121, interceptions 84 for Stafford, Jameis 85.
That's a very good point, but I think Stafford has been injured. He's had
He was
some
injured
injury
1 year.
riddled seasons. Okay.
He was injured 1 year. And then wins 34 for Stafford, 32 for Jameis, and Jameis has a higher completion percentage than Stafford does.
Wow. That's earth-shattering information, but
That is, right? When you see it like that.
The Rams could have traded the second for Jameis.
Yeah, I think Jameis probably would have been more attainable because the Saints got to restructure bad. I mean, they're messed up with all that cap. They're $100 million over the cap.
The negativity surrounding Jameis Winston's name, as far as being a turnover machine, is just I don't know. It's almost too far gone. You know, it said a lot to me when the Saints went to Taysom Hill over Jameis Winston, and
who did they go to throw downfield though in that game? They did that double reverse Jameis fucking 50-yard pass. He got LASIK, guys. We can't forget about that.
You know where that play came from, right? It came from the Bears the previous week in the playoff game against the Saints. They did that play. The guy drops the ball in the end zone. Next week, Saints roll out the play.
But they got Jameis throwing it.
What I would say about this, because I think Jameis is he's very talented. He just makes boneheaded decisions on and off the field. But going back to Stafford, you know, because you're comparing that their stats have been similar over the years. I don't think, first of all, Stafford's played for the Lions, and we know how the Lions treat their star players. You know, they're the Texans over there in Detroit. But the Lions haven't had a semblance of a run game the whole time that Stafford's been there. I mean, think about it. It's like, so it's always been on Stafford's shoulders. So I think even though the stats may infer that both of them are similar, Stafford is the better quarterback. And as long as he stays healthy and you know, he doesn't have reoccurring injuries that follow him to the Rams, I think he's gonna have, from this point forward, he's gonna have a better year.
So if you had to choose one for the Cowboys, you're gonna take Stafford with what he has left in his career over Jameis, or would you take Jameis just because he's a little younger and has a more longevity, probably?
I would go Stafford, although, I mean, like I said, Jameis is talented. He needs somebody, and that's why I think it should work out there with the Saints. I mean, having Sean Payton as your head coach, and on top of that, they had Lombardi, like the grandson of Vince Lombardi, as the quarterback coach for the last couple of years. I don't know if he got hired somewhere else or not, but I know Jameis has the opportunity to rebound if he stays there with the Saints and they let, you know, if Drew Brees retires. If Drew Brees decides to stay, I think Jameis needs to look somewhere else. But I mean, think about it. If he,
Brees already
the Patriots.
No, Brees is going to make that decision coming up. That came out, but then he said no. He's still thinking about it, and Brees has come out and said that in the next couple of days, I don't know if it's before or after the Super Bowl, that he's going to make his official decision. But right now, there's still hope that he'll come back. Although, if I'm a Saints fan, I'm like, I mean, I love Brees, but I mean, another year of what we just had last year, I mean, where it's going to be an injury-riddled season because his body's not like Tom Brady's. You know what I mean? I mean, Brees looks older. He looks way older. But anyway, Jameis Winston, I think he has potential. Honestly, I mean, he's been a national champion, and in the year last year when he threw 30 picks, he threw 35 touchdowns, and he threw for over 5,000 yards. If you look on the top 10 passing yards in NFL history, he's in the top 10 for the season. Yep. You know what I mean? So Jameis can throw the ball, and I think the Saints should have relied more on Jameis for this whole season, and I think they would have had more confidence going into the playoffs to have Jameis Winston starting. But since they didn't play him all year, I mean, yeah, I can understand why they were reluctant to roll him out there. Although I would have the second half of that Saints playoff game.
Well, guys, Super Bowl Sunday is coming up soon. That's going to be a wrap for us tonight. Again, we got the forms coming out, the prop bets there. You have a chance to win an Amazon gift card. We'll share it again. Join us. It's absolutely free. Franz, have you filled yours out?
No, but I'm going to do it, brother.
All right, we'll fill it out. And, man, anything else y'all want to say? Any last little tidbits about the Super Bowl before we call it a night?
Nope.
No, just excited to have
thanks for coming on again, bro. We appreciate you.
Anytime, guys. Appreciate you guys having me on.
That came on.
That's fun, bro.
Yeah, thank you to everybody else that came on. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Ron. Good show today.
All right, Ben.
That's it, bro. Rocky started. Watching the Rocks.
So we got 2 people on the Bucks, and we got Ben, Fonz, Leo, and Ron on the Chiefs as far as people who came on the show today.
Yep.
All right, appreciate everybody. Later.
Later, guys.